right, this is Dos Amigos. I'm Wilmer Valderrama.
Freddy Rodriguez.
Welcome to this very special episode.
Yes.
As you can see, we have another third amigo here, but he is a third ally. He is the executive producer of the Dos Amigos podcast, as well as the head of WV Sound, which happens to be the podcast division of our company as well. So thank you, Leo Clem.
Leo Clem in the house.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks
for
for
your
having
tireless
me.
work. Thank you for making this possible for not only just us, but also for More Bettered and, De Your Abuelita and, a bunch of other podcasts that you've been working on. So we're very grateful for your work and for everybody behind the scenes too.
You left out one descriptor, a friend.
Oh, yes.
That is true.
He is a friend. You're actually a brother to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you had, it was a really fun idea. We had 40 amazing episodes where in these such episodes we have explored not only our friendship, not only our careers, our past, our families. We've also opened the door for a third amigo or amiga at times.
Yeah.
And they have given us invaluable memories and moments. So the Dos Amigos podcast is doing a very special episode to pay tribute to those who have made the trip over and sat down with us and have some great conversations. But a lot of great memories, right?
That's right. A lot of great memories, a lot of great guests, a lot of great conversations. Some were more energetic than others, right?
Yeah.
Some were more insightful. Some were, and so I think we're sort of exploring
Unexpected confessions too.
Yeah. So we're exploring the different varieties of conversations we have.
So in this final big segment of Those Amigos, you had a great idea. You want to explain it?
Yeah. Drum roll, please, editor. Or Wilmer and Freddie and Ryan and Aaron. Third Amigo Awards. Third Amigo.
The Third Amigo
Welcome to the
Awards.
Third Amigo Awards.
This is a look back at all of our guests
got
and
the
the
red carpet,
moments and the anecdotes and where what was left here in the studio.
Yeah, so I'm going to mention different categories, and each of you are going to tell me what is, a moment or an individual, a third amigo that comes to mind for that specific category.
Okay.
We threw in a bunch of different categories that are kind of all over the place because, we had so many different guests to speak to, friends, family, people we barely know. So excited to dive in with y'all.
Awesome. So
the
first one is what? Most energetic guest?
Most energetic guest. So
Okay.
yeah, who comes to mind that that energy was so high that it kind of brought something.
Everyone had a very different level of energy. They're all enthusiastic and all stuff. But I think, I don't know, one comes to mind for me.
Who's that?
Melissa.
Melissa Fumero. Yeah. Melissa Fumero or Terry Crews, right? They were very energetic and gave us a lot to play off of. But
I personally would nominate Melissa Fumero because she came here.
Yeah.
She did her shimmy dance. She had a lot of energy telling her stories, and she was also very vulnerable, very open with everything she was talking about. I think that she brought such lightness and charm to it, and she's just a beautiful person.
She is. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
And with Terry, I feel like he brought so much to the table I didn't even know about. And so that conversation was all over the place because I was learning so much from him.
Yeah, but that's not energetic. That's for a different category.
I'm jumping categories.
Okay.
Let's go to the next.
All right.
Biggest laugh.
Ooh, biggest laugh.
Biggest laugh. Who comes to mind?
What do you think for you?
I'd have to say Topher.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that dude. Sometimes I think he doesn't realize how naturally funny he is.
He's so dry and sarcastic and also so creative. He's a really talented dude. But yeah, I would say Topher too. I give him Topher because that dude just knows how to make me laugh. And actually in that conversation, he really surprised me with a lot of his thoughts about me. And, we in this podcast gave us an excuse to say the things we would never have the courage to say to each other when we're alone in a dinner, Yeah. So it was kind of nice to see myself through his eyes and vice versa. I hope it was nice for him too. But yeah, he was hilarious. And I think that the feedback from all of you at home is that, that was one of the funniest episodes we've had.
Yeah, funny and for me, endearing to see you two together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Just kind of seeing your history together, I can just see it in both of your eyes, and it was really wonderful to see you two.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Moving on.
All right.
most unexpected confession?
Oh, interesting. I don't know if it's a confession as much as it is like, I would say, I don't know. I think Terry Crews had such insight and such personal storytelling. Like,
Yeah.
he was vulnerable enough to be, to be emotional with us, and,
Yeah.
and made us really live and put on his shoes for a minute and tell us some of his darkest moments,
Yeah.
and also allowed us to kind of feel the sunshine as it entered his story and his life. So I think for me, I think that was an unexpected confessions of his past and where he was in his life. I know that he's been candid with it in other interviews, but I think it felt like because of you and your connection with Terry and the familiarity that we all have with him, he was really allowing himself to be an extra level of vulnerable with his stories.
Yeah, I felt with Terry, he had such a specific journey, and it was wonderful for him to share even those parts of your journey that some people may find embarrassing or may find private. And he was very open about it. And I think that not only was that wonderful for us, but other people who are going through the same journey and the same struggles, it definitely was information that somebody could listen to and could apply to their own lives as well. Yeah.
I guess the biggest confession also would have come from you when you admitted that you had leather pants. I think that's when we really dropped the mic, and yes, pun intended.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know if I wore them. By the way, for all you guys at home, maybe 2 days later, I got a picture from Freddy of him wearing leather pants. I'll let you guys do your own research. But look, you
Wilmer
pulled it
outed
off.
me. He outed me.
Yeah.
He outed me.
You outed yourself on a stage.
I was like, I never
You were
wore
at the
leather
Latin
pants.
Grammys with those on, dude.
I went home and I was like, did I wear leather pants? And then I looked it up and I was like, damn, I did wear leather pants.
All right, moving on.
All right. Deepest moment, most heartfelt moment.
I mean, I guess, what would it be for you? Let's go with you first.
I know I kind of said this earlier, but it was, it was just, I found your and Topher's relationship to be really deep. And I love that here we are 20 something years later and you still have that sort of same relationship. There was so much that was said. I mean, was there anything in there, as you just said, man, we said things on this podcast that we would probably not say to each other. Like, was there anything that he had said to you in the podcast that struck you as really deep? Is something that he wouldn't say to you normally?
Yeah, he said that day. He said something in the form of that I somehow had, a contribution into his discovery of how to have fun, how to allow yourself to have fun and not take everything that was happening to us, which was a lot,
Right.
for our age, and not look at it scary or influential or any other way that somehow would stray you away from the simplicity of just like enjoy right now.
Yeah.
And we both kind of embraced that. I think that was I think probably one of the things that kind of comes to mind. I would say also I think that you and I have been very vulnerable with each other in these conversations. We're allowed to kind of tap into some of our deepest, if it's not insecurities, it's like those dark moments where you're like, okay, what happens next, and you starting a family that early in your life, that was also something I think that was really deep for me. So I would probably nominate you and probably Topher for that.
Thank you, brother.
How about the quote of the season?
Also, I guess for me, I mean,
yeah, Lewis Howes, right? Is that how you pronounce his name? Lewis Howes. I got to be honest, man. Like, he had a profound effect on me. There was a lot that he said that really stayed with me. I really loved how when I asked him what motivated him to start doing what he was doing, and he said that it was his journey to heal that started him on this journey to become the public speaker and the public persona that he is, and how healing is at the foundation of everything that he talks about, right? when he talks about success, when he talks about anything, starting a business, what have you. He talks about the importance of healing first, so that you have a solid foundation. And he gave this analogy about squeezing when someone is squeezed in a stressful situation. Whatever's in you is what's going to come out. That's why it's important to heal what's inside, right? It's like when you squeeze an orange juice comes out, right? When you squeeze a grapefruit juice comes out, right? And so whatever's in you is what's going to come out, and so it's important to heal whatever's in you.
I think that episode personally was also impactful for me because, he said something that I was like, don't cheat me of treating you.
I remember that.
I was like, what? He goes, let me pay for your dinner. I want to do that for you, and that kind of stayed with me in many levels because, I've always wanted to pick up the check. I want to do that. And he goes, well, that's how selfish are you to not let me also give you that, and I never heard it that way before because it's uncomfortable for some of us to not take the lead and be like, it's uncomfortable to ask people to split a check, so I'm just gonna pay the whole thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so that was I'm grateful for him and that. And since then, I'll report that I've led a few friends of mine to split the check,
pay for the food.
Yeah. It was next.
All right, next, best story time.
Oof. Oh man, I thought it was hilarious when Topher talked about when you would sleep over his house on bunk beds, right? Was it bunk beds?
Yeah, we were on bunk beds, yes.
Like I can't imagine like Wilmer and Topher on bunk beds sleeping over his parents' house. I think that was a wonderful, endearing story.
I love the Terry Crews training day story. Like, hey dude, they're shooting a movie out here, and then like
that was a good one.
Come out and just check out the shooting, and they're like, okay, why don't you just stand here? And all of a sudden it's like he had one of the most iconic close-ups of all time,
Yeah. Hey, it just goes to show how life happens, right? Like you
that
just
story
never
was
know
great.
when,
yes.
Yeah, when something's gonna manifest from that.
All right. Moving on. Family vibe or family vibes. Who brought the family vibes?
I mean, I nominate Adam Rodriguez.
Yeah.
We were in the living room just talking at this point. Right?
Yeah.
Adam is great because we were able to. And here's the thing: when the audiences hear names they've never heard of before, but then all of a sudden we're like, yes, all three of us. It's like that's when it becomes like more family driven. Like you're really in the inside of our friendship at that point.
I felt that with Roy as well, Roy Choi.
Oh, Roy Choi too. Yes.
Yeah, his story about his mother and how she used to pack up food and put it in the backpack and go out and sell it like that. I mean, that was
all that stuff really worked for me. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean Amanda.
Oh, Amanda. Yes, Amanda. Of course, Amanda.
That's
of course, Amanda.
That doesn't count.
Of course, Amanda. Yeah, I guess it doesn't count because she is family.
I thought that was cool, though. I thought it was great interviewing her and all the great stories.
We got to kick off, if we get a next season, we gotta kick off with your wife next.
Let's see. If we get a next season, Leo.
Indeed.
I don't make the calls.
Yeah.
All right. Crossover moment.
Crossover moment.
So, like, who is connecting all the dots for there's like
what do you think?
Yeah, like Gabriel Luna being here. I had posted something and I was like, and I had named each of our characters from each of the Robert Rodriguez projects that we had all did. And my character was El Rey. What was your character?
I was Carlos Madrigal. So
Carlos Madrigal
and from Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn, I'm El Rey from Planet Terror, and Gabriel was
and Matador.
Matador. I don't remember the name of his character, but I remember we took a photo together, and I posted that, and I posted all of the names of the characters in each of the projects, and to just see how we've all worked with this incredible Latino director, and how we've all created these memorable characters from his films. I thought that was
that's great.
Cool.
Yes, I'll leave it at that because Gabriel is so insightful, and he's the way he also articulates the story. And by the way, he probably is one of the few guys that I've seen. He remembers first and last name, color, hair, where he was, what time of the day. His stories were like, they were really detailed.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go to the next page, and then we'll skip that one because it's both Topher and Gabriel.
Okay.
Behind the scenes hero.
Yeah, Leo
Yeah,
in the
Leo in the house.
house.
Yes. Leo always came, bailed us out, you know. I mean, but we had a great team. And Aaron, you know, we had
Ryan.
you know, we had Ryan too. They're always, you know, they're
Sophie.
always staying. Sophie, they always stand on their toes in case we'd be like, "What's the name of that movie?" Or "What year was that thing written?" You know, and so you guys definitely bailed us out. It made us sound very informed.
Yes.
I didn't make up that award. I didn't know I was gonna be sitting here, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
looks
big
like I'm a
shout
little
out.
vain. I'm not.
No. I mean, big flowers
Cool,
for
yeah.
for all of our Dos Amigos team. You know, this is it's been a an interesting and challenging, but at the same time effortless experience to do this podcast. You know, we're all incredibly busy individuals, but we've made this little healing hour. You know, always rewarding for all of us who come to this chambered and voice our and by the way, it's flown. And to me, you know, to that point, I would say that everyone has made a beautiful team, and I think we get a great response from the fans, and you know, that also feels really, really good.
Cool. Yeah. A couple more. Did we just become best friends award?
Isn't that a line from Step Brothers?
Yes.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes.
Yes.
We just become best friends.
The guest that we clicked, Angela Johnson she was
Oh yeah, she was so real.
Hilarious.
So hilarious, so real. And also her whole story about being a cheerleader and the whole thing. She's like, I guess I'll be a cheerleader for the Raiders. You know, and like randomly like, okay, I made the squad, now what? You know? Yeah, she's awesome. She's we're definitely closer for that moment, for sure. I think Angela Johnson definitely was great on that.
Last one. Season MVP. Who's got the MVP?
Season MVP.
I nominate your daughter. I kind of.
I don't know why I knew you were gonna say that.
I love that we don't edit out her running upstairs, or coming in, or it's just it's the way it should be. It's the way that life works.
Yeah, I think it's the soundtrack of my life, so I'm able to share it with you guys so you know, rudely on the show. And sometimes it'll be like someone, and I'm actually really surprised that some of our guests will stay so focused with that dun 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 dun,
right,
dun 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 dun. You know, it's very, very funny. But
well, hopefully, if
also
we come
like
back here,
your flight is up. Huh?
Hopefully, if we come back here for season 2, we'll have 2 set of footsteps running upstairs. You know,
you sound like a horse.
Yeah.
four a set of 4 legs. You know, running.
I got a last question for y'all. How do you feel like your relationship has changed from like episode 1 to now?
That's a great question. I think it has deepened a lot of our roots, but I will say like our roots were very, very deep, and unspokenly we had a brotherhood for you longer than this season. So I think if anything, it gave us an accountability, an accountable schedule to make sure that we don't stray from one another. Like sometimes we've had to, you know, you do a job in a different place, you know, I do a season for a whole season. And sometimes you could go a couple months without checking in with one another. I think it gave us an excuse to really just making sure that we're checking in with one another and that we're present in each other's lives. And I love that. That's my favorite.
Yeah. I think for me, you know, you and I have always had this great instant relationship. There's always been a relatability. There's been a number of things, a number of reasons why we've been friends for so long. I was in Chicago recently, and I was talking to one of my uncles, and I asked him, you know, we had this conversation about both of our families came from a background of agriculture, right? And I was asking my uncle, I said, well, what did y'all grow in the finca, in the, you know, however you translate that.
On the
farm. And he was like, oh, we used to grow, you know, your mother and I and our family grew tobacco. That was our main thing that we grew, and tobacco and coffee and vegetables. And we had a really long conversation about what they grew on the finca. And I was surprised to learn that about you when in the first few episodes, that your family came from a very similar background, where your family also had a finca, your family also grew vegetables and tobacco and the same. And so after that episode, after even talking to my uncle in Chicago, I was like, oh, that's why Wilmer and I always got along so well right from the beginning, because there was a familiarity there that I don't think that you and I even realized was there. Both of us having parents that grew up in different countries, and there's certain nuances that come with that I don't usually get with other friends that their parents were born in the States.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a level of awareness that is very rare, right? It's also the configuration of our stories. I think that's one thing that I will never take for granted is the idea that we have to keep that story of your past, of your parents, of your grandparents alive, because it's what we pass down to our children next, right? It's how they get their prototype. That's how they get their blueprint, and those stories have to live. And in this moment in history, more than ever, we have to be outspoken about what's really special about our culture.
Yeah.
Making sure that that spirit of who we are as Latinos, is a solution, is a secret sauce, and it's the other color that makes this beautiful country, right? So, I'm proud of that. I'm proud that that this show has also allowed us to heal and be in community, and making sure we don't stray away from what's important, and talking to people about the things that we all should keep in mind. I know that there's been subjects where we talked about raising awareness for the lack of medical forward thinkingness for our community, and really kind of raising awareness for the different things that our culture, unfortunately, looks as a secondary, mandate. And I think it's a really important time for us to remind ourselves that we got to take care of one another. We have to change biologically somehow what we've been taught when it comes to prevention, when it comes to taking care of our elders, our parents, and ourselves. And I'm proud of that. I think there are a lot of this podcast have been a healing journey, I think, for both of us. And a lot of stuff is happening in this podcast. A lot of life altering moments have happened to both of us during this podcast, and in between recordings, and there is Nakano. And in between recordings, we've been able to check in and make sure that we hold each other up in this process. So, I love you, and I'm so stoked that we still, to make this possible, and here we are, 40 plus episodes later.
Hell yeah.
And okay, so this was a great look back at all of our episodes. I would also encourage all of our fans who are listening to this one that if you haven't checked out some of these episodes with this incredible and beautiful and insightful guest, this podcast is available everywhere you get your podcast. Yes. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can also listen to these episodes anywhere you are in the world. And if you're listening to this, you can find us online as well on YouTube or on social media, so you can catch up to some of the themes, the subjects, and I hope this show speaks to you as much as it's spoken to us.
Absolutely. I am Freddy Rodriguez.
And I'm Wilmer Valderrama, and thank you for loving Those Amigos.